Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I am from MCC, and I know how many people you know that MCC is the second oldest Muslim faith-based organization in the Washington metro area. And you just heard George Leventhal. He talked about our clinic. And most of you are probably familiar with that, but our clinic has been serving for the last 13 years. And last year alone, we had 15,000 patient encounters, which means some patients come 10 times, some 5 times, some 8 times, but total 15,000. And when we started the clinic way back in 2003, only 1% of our patients were non-Muslims. Now, it is over 50% of the patients are non-Muslim. And to be honest with you, this is the biggest dawah you can ask for. But thank you all for coming here today, particularly our brothers and sisters from Christian, Jewish, Hindu, and Sikh communities. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look around where you are, you will see a very mixed, a very diverse, and a very eclectic group of people. People from different ethnic groups, speaking different languages, having different backgrounds, with different skin colors, and in some cases, different attire. But despite all these differences, it did not stop them to come over here. And being here today, the gathering in essence represents the diversity in its truest form. In America, diversity is a symbol of strength, not of the weakness. This diversity represents richness of ideas, not the desolate, barren, and tunnel-vision land of tradition and time-barred paradigms. The diversity is the engine, which is the driving force towards our common goal and help us create our own tradition in our own changing environment. America, our beloved country, where diversity is welcomed, accepted, respected, and despite all the diversity and differences, we are all one. If you go inside this building on the back of me, which is a Capitol Hill, you will see our national motto very prominently displayed on the Great Seal of the United States, which says, E pluribus unum. It is just a 13 letters word and a phrase, which means out of many, we are one. And that's what real America is all about. It was the Samuel Huntington, if you remember his name, he is the one who first threw the gauntlet with his clash of civilization theory. And the battle has since been fiercely taken by a variety of the commentators, critics, and political pundits. What is going on in the media and among the extremist group is a politically engineered religious crusade and hate-mongering festival against Islam and American Muslims, which is an abominable act, and it has to stop. The anti-Islamic process the forces, they know that the words can be weapons of hate and they can be used as a killer. In the midst of this era of hate-mongering, as American Muslims, we cannot, and I emphasize again, we cannot afford to be silent and indifferent. It is our problem, and it's a matter of survival for all of us. And instead of depending on the others, we have to take care of these problems by ourselves. We cannot have an indifferent attitude towards the hate and insult going on around against Islam and American Muslims. Unfortunately, Islam is the most negatively viewed religion in America. Only 37% of the Americans have a favorable opinion about Islam. We have to change it. As a result, there is exaggerated fear, hatred, and hostility towards Islam and Muslim, resulting in bias, discrimination, and marginalization and exclusion of Muslims from America's social, political, and civic life. Ladies and gentlemen, we as Americans will have to stand up and fight peacefully through civic engagement. Fight peacefully through civic engagement against the forces of evil, bigotry, and ignorance and intolerance. Our choices in prevailing situations are very clear. We can sit and watch all this happening and pretend that the things are okay. Now, that's if what we think, then thank you for living in a bubble, and this bubble is about to burst now. The trend of running away from the problem only increases the distance from the solution. Like all of you, I have been watching the trend of insulting and demonization of Islam is getting worse and worse. We as American Muslims have to educate ourselves about Islam so that we can deal with this problem ourselves instead of looking around for outside conditional help with strings attached. According to Newton's law of physics, which applies here as well, that the body at rest will remain at rest, and the body in motion will remain in motion unless acted upon by an external force. Last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, let us work with each other, know each other, and move forward to make this country great. According to our founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin, at the time of signing the Declaration of Independence in July 1776, he said, we all should hang together, or most assuredly, we will hang separately. It was the true at that time, it is true now. So let us work with each other and make this country great. Thank you, and God bless America.